Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, and make room for who we're trying to become. On today's show, I got family, okay? I got family, and this is one of the most organic interactions I've had, and I got to share it. And I got two guests on the show today, which is rare for me to have two, but I think where we're going with the podcast is probably going to be more because everything is happening organically, and I'm just allowing it to happen. So let me share what happened to bring these two guests on. So I'm in DC, minding my own business, at a conference, doing my thing. And just, when it comes to networking and conferencing, I am an introverted, I'm an extroverted introvert. So I can be here and shake hands, kiss babies and all that. But when I get overwhelmed, overstimulated, I need to get out of there. So that's what I did. I did the conference and I got out of there, spent some time by myself and end up going to a concert, random, which you heard from the previous episode. And at that concert, Buttmaster, I just learned about the artist, Buttmaster. Shout out to Buttmaster. And whenever you're ready to be on the show, I got you. So I just learned about him that day. And I just showed up at the concert. And there were two people that was in front of me that were having the time of their life before the show, during the show, after the show. And it was like they were there by themselves. Now, if you don't know Buttmaster, I'll educate you a little later on, but they had the outfits on and everything. So Buttmaster is a producer, artist, and his beats and style and production connects to like video games. So it just takes you right back to your childhood. It just takes you back to those sounds and arcades and family and just safety. And these two individuals were in the middle of it and no one else was there. And that energy was just contagious and I wanted a piece of it. Now, they didn't know me at all. They just saw this random dude trying to hug. Hey, can I hug y'all? Can I hug y'all? They was like, I guess. We in the middle of this show. Who is this man? So it was just this energy and I took a risk and it paid off because now we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, I would love to introduce PB, No J and Elise. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I am curious, the story. What's the story of y'all connection and going to the concert? And like y'all had the outfit. Where did you even find these outfits at? Like y'all were prepared and y'all were there and had a time of your life. I'm curious to know the story. How does this happen?
Do you remember what you were wearing?
I don't remember everything, but I remember I was wearing that jacket, that banana jacket that's pink and green, very, very discreet. Mm-hmm. And you were wearing Mario.
I'm a Mario button up.
Yeah.
Did you say discreet?
Did I succeed?
Your definition of discreet in mine is different.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all were decked out, and I was inspired by it, and I was like, oh, I'm not prepared. Because I just had some red clothes. Again, I just learned about the guy. But you two were fans, and fans in the way of we like this no matter what anybody else thinks or says. Like, we like it and we're here. And that in my opinion, that requires you to be a certain type of person. And for y'all to have that kinetic energy together and just brightening the whole room, where did this come from? How did this come to be?
We met in a dating app,
Mm-hmm.
and we connected through music.
Yeah.
One of our dates was going to a concert, and dancing together was great. It felt very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And dating ended up not working, but then I was participating in a Zumba class, and I told Philip about it, and he started coming, and I had my mood swings, and sometimes like I wouldn't talk, and then I would, but I was very happy when he started coming consistently, and we started like playing with choreography in the class together, and yeah, we have been practicing together, like how to get in sync, and now we sing in karaoke like every week. It's our commitment, and yeah.
This Wednesday I did Ice Ice Baby, and she did Under Pressure, and that was like a real fun combo.
Wow. Wow. Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Elise, thank you for sharing your perspective because I
Mm.
love hearing perspective. PB No J, I would love to hear your perspective about this interaction and connection.
I mean, there's that. I mean, I would say I wouldn't characterize you as having mood swings. I do think there's that point when like you go out with someone and they're like, "Is this person trying to be my friend? Or are they trying to like secretly go out with me?" And I was like, "I want to be this person's friend." And I think it probably took a while for you, and there's other stuff going on with you, for you to accept that, like, no, I was just showing up as a friend and being around you, and I was happy with that. So I wouldn't. I agree with the characterization, except I characterized at least more positively than I think Elise characterized herself.
I love
Thank
it. I
you.
love it. That's y'all get on my nerves. Okay. Like I just love y'all. I just love y'all. So I want to talk about this because we don't talk about it. What I hear is you're letting me know that even if you match or date someone, that it doesn't have to end in disaster if you
Right.
decide like, hey, we don't want to move in this direction romantically, but platonically, we can go here. In my opinion, in my experience, that's rare. It's very rare, and it's rare to be public about that. So, how did you two get to the place of meeting in the same space, even though your intention was different initially? But you two decided, okay, we're not going to go in this direction, but we're going to go there. How did that happen?
I mean, for me, I don't know if most of my friends are someone I went on a date with, but a lot of my friends are someone that I went on a date with. And it's just this thing of like when someone says, "Hey, let's be friends," being like, "Do you mean it? Like, do you mean it? Because then let's actually
Mm.
try." And then sometimes that doesn't work out. And then I think more often than not, it does. I mean, I'm very charming. People want to be friends with me, you know.
I agree. I mean, listen, look, we didn't even meet on a dating app, and look at us.
Mm.
Now
Yeah.
together. Love it. I love it. Excellent.
Yeah. For
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah. For me, like I was always like a very academic, wordy person and like talkative. And I know PB is also good with words. But when we started doing dance classes together, we entered in this realm of experience of expressing ourselves through our bodies. And that really went along well. Now we're doing a meditation class, which is also talking, but mostly experiencing things together and reflecting. So it's not intellectual, or it's not something that we are an agenda, or just like living experiences together.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like experiences are greater than things.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think y'all because again, y'all live this normally. Okay. This is not the norm. I need y'all to know that. This is not the norm. But
Yeah.
y'all just live it so normally, like, yeah, it's just this is what it is. We're gonna do this, gonna do that. So I'm curious to know individually, like, where did this mindset come from where you're just open and it's connection and it's people, it's human. So you two come from a very humanistic perspective where it doesn't have to be negative or bad or jaded. Like we can be friends. How did that develop from you individually and then to get here collectively?
um, so for some reason, at some point, I went from like having friends that were only boys, to like boys being minority of my friends. And it started out, I was like very intentional about I don't want um girls and women that I'm befriending to think I'm hitting on them. And I was like really focused on that. The point that really irritated some of my friends. They're like, yeah, but that person's peer is like, I don't care. I just want to be the person's friend. And so I think I just am more used than a lot of people to being friends with people that other people would ship you with, if you will.
Hmm.
And
You
so
you
when it when,
hold, you gotta break that down. You gotta break that down. Break it down for me. What do you mean by this? Because again, this is your norm. Everybody doesn't
Mhm.
know. So I want to make sure everybody's understanding what you're sharing.
I've had like multiple friendships where other people be like, "You two gonna date?" And it's like, no. It's like I'm happy with this thing that's happening. That other thing you're asking for is like a different thing. You know, no
Mm.
one sees you eating like drinking milk and being like, "So you gonna get some ice cream?" Like, no, I'm drinking milk right now. It's the thing that I want. Why you ask me if I'm gonna change this thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Like PB is his special skill. He's like being content with what it is,
Hmm.
being the moment, like meeting, connecting, and meeting in the level that things are. Not really pushing for more, for less. Like, yeah, we're here now. We're doing this. If it's for a long time, so be it. If it's for a short time, see you next time. So yeah, this is something special. I was more like I had an agenda with my relationships, with my
Mm,
friendships. I
mm,
wanted to transform. I wanted to push, and and sometimes it would work, but most of the time I would be very tired and like feel was controlling the situation. But yeah, this was more natural. Was a lot of trial and errors. Some, I think, some interactions we wouldn't really connect. We wouldn't really talk as much, but we kept the consistency.
yeah,
And yeah, we found stuff that we both like it. Yeah. And
yeah,
like our both personalities can come up, and we don't do everything together. Like we're good at communicating. I can't do this. I'm not gonna do this. I without hurting each other's feelings. I feel that's it's very special. I really wanted this. I would see other people having that, and I said, how can I have this? Does it have to be a romantic relationship? Do I have to promise my life and to the person? But yeah, and we like we're trying and failing, and sometimes I would think, I don't know, maybe we're not gonna really be connected and all, but the consistency and the clarity, the honesty of saying yes or no really really helped.
Yeah, I just can't
yeah.
salsa dance.
Okay.
Can't.
Okay. Okay. But you've tried. You've tried.
I sort of tried.
Okay. I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna let you have that one. So I'm curious, how long y'all been connected?
Late 23, right?
Mm.
Right?
No, it was before,
It was before
Uh-oh.
23?
because my dog died in the end of 23, or it was
Right, but I got my double mastectomy December 7th,
uh,
2023.
so maybe it was October
But yeah,
23.
I consider that late.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
fall of 2023.
yeah.
I love y'all. I really do. Because you two are so authentic. And I felt that from the dance floor to all the way here, where there's so much value, energy, love within the relationship. And to me, what I'm hearing is you two have been sharing life with each other on a very high level. And it sounds like it's a puzzle piece that fits really nicely where you are presently, and that's a gift. Because
Mhm,
from my experience and being a therapist, I work with a lot of different types of people that's in situationships, not really relationships, that yeah, you're sharing life, but you're sharing even more, and it's hurtful what's being shared. And for you two, it's enhancing both of your lives in different ways. And whenever you two do decide to go or transition or evolve, what you two shared together in those experiences will last you a lifetime. And on the outside looking in, it's a beautiful thing that I don't think a lot of people get an opportunity to experience. Like there's trust there, there's respect there, there's like, I feel like y'all got each other's back. And it started in one direction, now it's shifted differently. And I just want you to imagine living your entire life without experiencing what you two have. And there's a lot of people listening to the show now that know exactly what that's like. So I'm curious to know from both of you, like, how do you develop a platonic friendship where you do have these activities together? And even with two different personalities, PB being present and Elise being in the past or the future, like these two different parallels. How do y'all, what would you recommend for people to consider living life differently related to what you two did or what you two are doing, rather?
Yeah, I think we're very different people, but we found like safe containers, safe environments where we could express parts of our personality that weren't very clear. I feel like karaoke, for example, PB is a very good singer. It's not gonna allow. It's not gonna agree, but
No, I'm very good at karaoke.
But yeah, oh, good. Yeah, I'm happy you.
That's a different thing than
Okay.
singing.
He was
Okay.
more modest before. He was saying, "No, you're better." That has changed, which is good. Anyway, he's very good, and I'm kind of ridiculous, but it takes a lot of courage to be that, and it's funny like that he's good, and he always gets compliments, and he doesn't really like it because he doesn't want to be famous and everything.
It's
So
yeah, it's weird with strangers.
yeah, he's really like exposing himself, but it's beautiful because it's a gift and he's sharing with us. And yeah, and I get to enjoy that. I like to sing too. I like to be theatrical, and this is a place to do that. And then we think about the songs and we plan and we share with each other, and also like the meditation class, we've been talking very deep things, so aligning emotions and meditation, and we talk about emotional episodes of joy, sadness, anger, disgust, fear, and then we think about the emotions as energy, and we meditate, and it takes a lot of vulnerability to be able to do that, but we think, of course, we share about mild episodes with a whole group,
Mhm.
and we have been consistent with that. And yeah, I was able to learn so many things. Oh, so and maybe and like about yeah, how he's lived like very nuanced things and how he could connect or not, and yeah, and the caveats, like I did this but I know there's that, and like there's so much nuance, so much layers, so many layers. So
Mhm.
Like
yeah, have
theater.
yeah. And another thing that's great too is like theater. He's a very good actor. Like we went to this
Mm.
theater workshop and he did the same scene twice, two totally different characters. So that was like I was so entertained. I will always remember that. It's something like, oh my god, it's an artist. So yeah,
Mm.
just like by being by his side, just a little bit, like just get a glimpse of the geniality.
Mm.
It's great. I feel very
I love
energized.
it.
Okay, but this is a person. I'll go to events. We went to an event at the Black Cat once. Someone else was performing. Elise wasn't
Mhm.
supposed to perform. I turn away. Elise is on stage, directing people to dance. Like what? Elise finds a way to become the center of a thing,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes it's intentional, but sometimes it's not. I think it's. I
Mm.
think sometimes people are just like, "Who's this presence?"
Yeah.
But to directly answer your question, I mean, it takes effort. Like you have
Mm.
to. We worked on our friendship. It would have been easy to be like, oh well, I'm not going to go dancing at this place over there, or I'm not going to go to this event this time. And you're allowed to, own your own boundaries and own your own energy. But also know that you do have to exert some effort.
Mm.
People can't just fall into your life and be super easy all the
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
Do you have like anything specific that was difficult that you had to do and then it got easier or got more?
Uh, I mean, asking to go to Zumba in January. I mean, that was like I really agonized over that because it was like, oh, am I actually putting this person in a position where they wouldn't want to say no, but they actually do want to say no? And so that took real courage on my part because I'm the type of person to be like, it's not so much that I'm afraid of getting a no. It's like I'm afraid of having to make someone else say no. It's like,
Mm.
oh, like I should have known that they didn't want to do a thing. And so that was hard for me. And also there's things I've gone to that I haven't enjoyed, but I tried,
Yeah, yeah.
And then sometimes I thought I wouldn't enjoy them and I enjoyed or part of them and so I would
But
say
it didn't shake the core of the friendship.
yeah.
Like some things, I do many things and I invite PB to the things and he comes and sometimes he enjoys, sometimes he doesn't. But it doesn't mean like, although we went to this party that I organized and I was speaking Portuguese, everything was in Portuguese. It wasn't, you couldn't really connect, but he didn't like resented me or something. Like it was just something, yeah, I'm here, I came. It's not my thing. I'm gonna go. See you next time. And yeah, that's great.
It was pouch occasion. I like pouch occasion.
That's great. I have some
Oh, no.
on me. Not now in my house.
I love it. I love it. So it sounds like it requires you, because you mentioned some of these key things. It requires courage, taking
Mhm.
risks, stepping outside your comfort zone, intentionality, communication. Um, so I'm curious for you, PB, where did that come from? Of I'm going to take this risk. I want to go to
Mm.
Zumba. I'm going to ask, knowing that how it could end up. You didn't take that as law. It's an idea that, yeah, it could go in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to make the attempt anyway. And that's very courageous. Where did you get this ability to take action and not worry about the consequences?
Well, I did worry, but it's okay to worry. It's okay. I mean, a couple things.
Hmm.
That one thing I think does connect us is Inside Out,
Yeah.
because Elise knows like the background of the psychology of Inside Out, and I just know I know the core tenet of like your feelings are valid, and
Hmm.
so to not just, I think a younger me would have been so concerned and so full of worry that he would have been immobilized by the worry. And I get, I have cared for that younger me, because that younger me, there's this, I've told you this thing before. There's this idea that like if you get an email and the email makes you anxious and you like don't know what to do, that's because there was like a kid like several thousand years ago who saw a wolf and he got scared and he froze and the wolf went away. And like the genes of that kid thousands of years ago have been passed down to you. And so you see situations that are not as dangerous as wolves, but you're like, if I just don't do anything, the email will go away or something like that. And sometimes it serves you, but sometimes it doesn't. And so I'm not
Yeah.
mad at myself for having that feeling, but I'm like, okay, it's not going to serve me in the moment. And so it's a combination of being like okay with that feeling, then going like, okay, you have that feeling. Now, what do you actually do? What do you actually do
Hmm.
with it?
Yeah.
And there's also this aphorism that Michael Jordan has,
Hmm.
which is, I can't accept not trying. And I've learned I can accept not trying, but I get it. I get the idea of like you miss 100 of the shots you don't take, like that idea. Like I get that idea, and I don't need to take every shot, but you got to take a shot eventually. Otherwise, you're just sitting
Mm.
here. One more thing
Mm.
a security
Yeah.
guard once told me, is that not taking a risk is a risk.
Woo.
Because I,
Woo.
it is.
That is
Because I
so
remember,
good.
yeah.
That's
Shout
so
out to that
good.
guy, Sam. I think his name
Yeah.
was. Um, um, I know when you say people say shout outs on your show, sometimes you go find them. You're not gonna be able to find
Yeah.
this guy. Sorry. But like he really, that was like 15 years ago, and it really stuck with me. That like every time I think I'm being risk averse. I think I'm being safe, but I actually doing is I'm keeping myself in a place where I will not progress.
Oh my goodness. Y'all are dropping gems, breadcrumbs, ripples, and everything else in between.
Yeah.
So I am curious because I don't know y'all level of self-awareness, emotional maturity, and intelligence. Have y'all experienced therapy before? Or just like, because this is underneath the surface, like to make those decisions and choices, y'all have done some work. I don't know in what capacity, but it sounds like y'all have done a lot of great work because you are two great, beautiful humans. Um, and it may not be therapy specifically, but what have y'all done to develop this version of you? Because you talked about who you were, who you are, and who you're becoming. Like that's the show. How did you get become this person for both of you? What did you do? What did you experience to be who you are today?
Failure, pain, but like yeah, during therapy it was really different. Like it really changed my inner discourse, because it was usually very pessimistic, and we find some pleasure on being pessimistic and being like a distant from life and seeing everything through a tragic lens. And yeah, trying new things and reflecting about them. And also like for a while I felt therapy wasn't enough, wasn't like strong enough, and maybe like there was some sort of manipulation to keep things as they were, to keep me doing the same mistakes. So for me, like meditation really helped, and also going to retreats, because it's a whole week you get away from everything, from the grind, from like the path you're going in your life, and you have a chance to restart, to reset. And I was really like a different person before during retreats. I think like I had a path. I still like have that path, like being an workaholic. I'm an workaholic in recovery,
Okay.
and like I still have that, but I know like there's so much more in life. And yeah, I was very happy. Like for me, there were some risks, but that thing that PB mentioned about going to Zumba class like was something, I'm not sure if I should come, if you feel comfortable. And I said yes. Actually, I wanted him to come and I wanted us to be friends, but I wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not. It may not, because also like there was this other guy that I was in the Zumba class that we were together and also didn't work out, and we end up not talking and not connecting at all. So I had that baseline. I said, yeah, that might happen too. But it was so much better. It was just the beginning of doing all these deep artistic things, and like getting to know PB from a place that's so deep and so beautiful and so artistic that I really admired. And yeah, I don't think I have any other friendship that I get to see someone in that level, and I really, really appreciate that.
For me, improv was actually very helpful. Um, Therapy also, specifically CBT, which I think connects to improv in a way, because CBT has all these prompts,
Mhm.
right? To like think about this thing that way. And it's like, oh, I'm playing an improv game where I want to try to say good things about myself.
PB, I love this.
It's true.
I love it. That's spot on. That is spot on. So,
Yeah. Some people are like,
and
you seem like a robot when you do that. I'm like, okay, I might be though. You know, some of us
mm,
are more robotic than others, and that's okay.
yeah.
And
I think that's so cool. I think that's something that we had in common, like improv. And also you mentioned something like I cannot just wait to see how things will play out. I have to intervene in reality. And that's something that we have in common that I didn't really know until now. And yeah, that's something that brings us together. But yeah, in improv, like for me, I had a lot of difficulty on being honestly positive. I could be positive, I could be agreeable and people pleasing, but it was fake and would drain my energy, and then I would resent it and hate it. But like with art and improv, I can touch on beauty or positivity in this artistic place, and like by trying and failing and trying and succeeding, I get to learn that and I get to exercise that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So I am curious. I want to go back to something. PB, I'm curious, and I don't want to assume, but I I would love to hear how you identify. And as far as being a male, I don't want to say black male because you may identify
mhm,
differently, but my assumption, again, I don't want to assume, but people say men, number one, don't go to therapy, especially not
mhm.
black men. So I would love to hear, as far as your identity, how you identify, and your decision to actually go to therapy.
I do identify as a black man. It's kind of funny. I mentioned my double mastectomy. Um, for some reason, I had like very high prolactin levels in the middle of the pandemic, and how much should I say on a podcast? Whatever, it's fine. There was like a mass near my pituitary gland that we think is benign, and it was like, oh, there's a part of my brain that's trying to turn me into a woman. um, but there was also like a part of my brain that was like saying, actually, you're still a man. It's just what your body is like. Your body,
Mm,
like that doesn't make you. That doesn't erase everything else that's happened to you. And I was
yeah.
like, cool idea. I'm getting rid of those. But like, cool idea, brain. And in terms of black men going to therapy, I mean, first of all, black people going to therapy.
Come
Uh,
on, come on, come on. Let's go.
Second of all, the therapist that introduced me to cognitive behavioral therapy was a black woman who went to my like prep school.
Mhm.
So there was like a particular prep school I went to that was mostly white, and she also went there a little bit before that I did. And I don't fully buy this, but it was very validating to hear this. She was like, "Yeah, what you experienced there was the trauma of white supremacy."
Mm,
And sometimes I want to be like, "No, I didn't. I'm not a victim or a survivor." But it helps to have someone be like, "No, that the shit fucking sucked. It
mm,
sucked." And then it's because someone else could be like, "Actually, you were lucky because you." And I was lucky because I mean, my local high school got shut down because there were too many stabbings. Like that's not
mm,
like I'm glad I didn't have to go through that. And also, there's this other flip side of yeah, but you felt really alone and you were young and you didn't know how to process it. So it's
mm.
obviously a thing that would help to process later on. I'm still doing it.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
doing it. But I think I'm better
yeah.
now.
Oh man, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Again, this is your norm. This is not everybody's norm. And I agree with you. Yes, black folks do go to therapy. Black men go to therapy. These are facts. Okay. How do we know they're facts? We're talking about two black men right now, currently, and I happen to be a therapist. They go to therapy. We do go. So it's a belief, it's an idea. And then Elise, yes, I go too. And even not, you speak Portuguese. So I'm assuming you're from a different country or may have migrated here. I would love to hear thoughts about that and connecting to the culture here that may be different from where you grew up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm originally from Brazil, and I started therapy before I moved, and I did therapy in Portuguese for a long time. And for a long time, I felt I could only do it in Portuguese because I could only really express myself in that language, and I could never connect in any level with English speaking people because I could not understand the hidden rules of society and everything. But yeah, I was married and I divorced, and I started doing that same kind of therapy. This is very interesting. We have a lot of things in common that we didn't really talk. We just feel,
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
hang out and have this feeling. And yeah, I did behavioral therapy. I did group therapy, and I'm a language teacher. I teach Portuguese, and it was fascinating to do that meeting because it was also like reading the scenarios and have everyone comment on what has happened to them and what they would do in that situation. And there was a lot of expressions, there was a lot of like words, new words, idea, and I love that. I love new words. I love looking at the dictionary. um and I got to learn so much about the United States because they're like, as there are groups of immigrants everywhere, but Brazilian immigrants, they can be very insular. There are a bunch of Brazilian events and Brazilian music, and they can like just hang out with themselves. When I was married, my ex spoke Portuguese, so I could spend like days without really connecting and without realizing that I was in the United States. But then, like I said, no, I'm here. I'm at this country. I want to see what's there to see. And yeah, I did therapy in English. It was nice. It was expensive. I ended up like now doing it in with Brazilian therapists. But yeah, like being in spaces where we can talk about emotions, talk about deep psychological things in English, like it's great for me because like living in the corporate world and like living our lives, people seem very well put together. They don't say like embarrassing things, and in Brazilian culture it's more dramatic. I think in
Mhm.
general we watch a lot more soap operas, and it was very common for me to meet someone in the bus stop and say my whole life, all the traumas, but it was more like playing the same things out. Now I can see that, and I can see that I was like that, and there's a game on who is like that, or but I want to also have the space to live my life and to do things in the moment and to interact in some level with the culture here as an immigrant, but keeping like the values and the ideas that are important for me. I feel very different, like in terms of the way I express my emotions, but I feel that's useful and it's fun. It's like an experiment. Like all these people are being very American, and I'm going there and being very Brazilian just to see what happens. And
I
then the
love
other
it.
way around too, like being the group of Brazilians and kind of like being the American one. It's a funny experiment.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you too. I appreciate the authenticity, transparency, humility, again, emotional intelligence. And I don't believe in coincidences at all. And we're connected, the three of us, because y'all don't know this, but you about to know it now. Um, my theoretical orientation is CBT. And I
Okay,
am
okay.
and
Learning
I
this
happen
together, man.
there's no coincidence.
Yeah.
That's my framework. That's how I see life. And it's a good match. And when you connect with a good therapist or great therapist, a good match is healthy and their method works, like you can really do some great work. So I appreciate it. We speak the same language, and it's just like it's connecting, which brings me to the next piece before we get out of here, related to connectivity and how you two connect it is what I talk about on the show all the time: food and music. Food
Mhm.
and music connects human beings, period. I don't care who you are, where you're from. And y'all confirm that with y'all connection and maintaining it. So I am curious, how did you two individually or collectively learn about Button Masher? Because I didn't know about him until that day.
So PB's marriage, I also didn't know, but I'm kind of familiar with video game music. I like it a lot. A lot of my friends, ex-partners were video game players, but yeah, it was like just a concert that had all these condensed parts of my life. And how did you?
Oh, so you like pie?
Yeah, I like the pie. It was the pie shop, and I like pie there. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Big shout out to the Pie Shop in DC. They're meant to be
yeah,
our sponsors, future shows. Okay. The Pie
yeah.
Shop is nice. Very nice.
I don't remember. I think the algorithm just served it to me.
Mm,
Because I mean I like chiptune music,
Mhm.
but didn't I generally don't remember.
hmm.
So, like, I didn't know you like jazz. You usually listen to jazz?
Oh, I love jazz, man.
Oh, okay.
It's about the notes they don't play.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I was in a jazz band in high school.
Ah,
Um,
I didn't know, but I could feel it.
Mm,
because
I
there was an
love it.
opening jazz band that was like young black kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was so weird, but they were good.
yeah.
It's just like you know
Mm.
what, the urban youth of DC love jazz.
I love
That's
it.
great.
I
And
love
like
it.
it was video game music,
Mm,
but it had this jazz layer to it. So and like
Mm.
I don't know, classical music, like the
Yeah.
virtuosity. And yeah, that's different because I don't know, video games is about virtuosity in a level
Yeah.
too.
I love it. I love it. So to the listeners, the reason that Button Masher is on the Three Parallels podcast playlist is because of PB and Elise. Know that. Y'all
Yeah.
are part of that. And they're going to contribute more songs to the podcast playlist because that's how the playlist is being curated. Again, we connecting with music and food, and I'm feeding you knowledge. So with that being said, PB, you taught me something and I got to talk about it because it hit me really, really hard. When I first introduced myself and I went to PB first because of familiarity, black male, doing his thing, cartoon character PJs, automatically love. So I gave a big hug and I said, "Man, I'm loving how y'all living and being, and it's so authentic." And I mentioned like, "Man, look at everybody else, and they're not like you. They're not. I mean, you." And it takes. I was saying a lot of things that were assumptions, and you called me out on it, where you were saying like, just because they're vibing to the music the way they do, and we vibe the way we do, doesn't mean they're not being authentic. And man, that hit me in the head with a honey bun. And I'm curious to know that mindset, that intellect to know, like, no, we're all who am I to judge? Who are we to say who's this or that? And I appreciated the call in because it was with love, it was with respect, and it was just like it made me pause to reconsider my assumptions. So I'm curious for you, where did this level of awareness come from of accepting of people for just being people?
I mean, I am rather contemptuous of some people, but I will say I I think people sometimes make suppositions or assumptions based on how I look. I have this feeling that if you're like, oh, there's this guy with dreads, he's half Jamaican, half Bahamian, he's from the Bronx, and if I open my mouth, you'd be like, that's not what I thought was going to happen.
Mm, mm.
Um, and and this is just my voice. This is like I haven't code switched into this voice for the purpose of this podcast because I have a podcast. I do have a podcast voice and I
Come
can do
on.
it. And I
Come
have
on.
not been doing it. I have just been me.
Thank God.
You have a podcast now. You have a podcast now.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
excuse. Let's
Podcast
get it.
voice. No, but no. No podcast voice.
So I think there's subconsciously there's this respect for people who might be living a life like I live, where it's like maybe you don't fit what people would expect of your background or whatever you look like. And also the work I've done to not make assumptions about what people are thinking. It can be really easy to get caught up thinking like this person's doing this because of that,
Yeah.
and then adding what I think are their intentions onto it. When the important part is, well, how's it affecting me? So it's one thing if like people not dancing is like, that's kind of boring. And that for me,
Yeah.
that's one thing. It's another thing to be like, they don't even get the music. Like, I don't know if they get the music or not, just because they're not moving. All I know is maybe I want to see them moving more. But that's about me. That's just a
That's it.
non-violent internal monologue.
It's real. I didn't have that. I didn't have it. So I had an assumption and I gave it to them, and you didn't allow that to happen. Not on your watch. It's beautiful, man. And I just kept hearing your voice for days. Like this. I just kept hearing PB like, how dare I? And it was a moment that I'm thankful for, and I had to share it because that's who you are. You gave me you, and I received it, and it changed me. I changed because of that, because I've never done that again since our conversation. Never done it again. I don't put those assumptions on anybody because that's what happens to us, all of us as humans, as human beings doing human things. People assume based off of their lived experience, and a lot of times, as you just said, this is their stuff, not ours. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question before we get out of here. I would love to hear individually and collectively the podcast, who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. You two discuss these three parallels, which are relationship, connection, and individual. So if you were to describe who you were, who you are, who you're becoming, it can be one word or a sentence or anything that you decide. How would you describe those three versions of you? And how would you describe three versions of your current connection relationship? So individually, three versions, and collectively, three versions.
Who I was an workaholic. I was addicted on working and proving myself. And I am someone who is healing, learning, allowing myself to make more mistakes, to fail, to be ridiculous. And hopefully I will become a child. I will become someone that's naturally playful, someone that has fun being ridiculous, making mistakes. But like what I think, like I was very old, now I am a teenager and I hope to become a kid. Like a kid that's old and teenage, I don't know, something that doesn't fight so much.
You're Benjamin Buttoning?
Yes, I am. Yeah, basically.
PB, listen, anytime I come to DC, I'm rocking with y'all. Okay, I'm going.
Yes.
Y'all didn't even invite
Come
me.
through.
I'm inviting myself.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Oh
please.
man, I love it. PB, what about for you? Three parallels.
Oh man, you took my middle one. I'm gonna keep going because I get to alliterate. I think young me was hurt, and slightly older me is healing, and hopefully I'll be happy.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. Last thing, I said that was the last. This is the last. On this show, I like to offer life work. Life work is a little different from homework. Homework, take it home, do it. You never remember it. Life work, when someone offers you a gem, a gift, a jewel, it can create a pivot that allows us to change or shift. So for you two, individually or collectively, like y'all gave a lot of gems. But if you were to offer something to the audience, that's something that the gift that keeps giving, like you did to me, honey bun, what would that be for them? What comes to mind?
People often assume more people have seen a thing than actually have. If you think of the most watched thing every year, it's the Super Bowl in America. And it gets
Mhm,
about 100 and at most 150 million viewers. It's actually less than that,
mhm,
which is like 40% of the country. So that
mhm.
means 60% of the country is not watching the Super Bowl. And that's like the most everyone does this thing.
Yeah.
So like whatever you think, oh, everyone's doing this or everyone has this and I don't have it. There's nothing like that.
Mm,
Something's new to everybody.
yeah.
Um, Same thing with Star Wars. Most people haven't seen every Star Wars.
That's me. Guilty.
No,
Guilty as
but you're
charged.
not. But here's the thing: you're not alone. Some people think they're
Yeah,
alone. It's like, no, you're not. You're actually. Most people haven't done most things.
that's real. Oh man, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Elise.
Uh, if I could say something, it's like be warmer, be be present, say something, even if it's ridiculous, even if you don't know what's going to happen, even if it's wrong, do it, say and say sorry afterwards with honesty. Like
Mm,
I think like I've done bad things, I said inappropriated things to PB, and I said sorry, and I learned how to say sorry in our relationship, and I learned to be forgiven. And I think like sometimes he would ask sorry and I would forgive, and like it was at first it didn't feel very natural, but over time it felt honest. And yeah, and I'm not so afraid of making mistakes, of looking ridiculous, or because I know it's okay, and I'm going to say sorry with honesty, and it's gonna be okay. I'm going to be understood, and that's great. I really recommend that for everyone.
love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh man. Whew. Another parallel. I gotta talk about it. Uh Elise, my supervisor. So in order for me to get licensed, I had to work under the supervision of someone. My supervisor happens to be from Brazil as well and speaks Portuguese. And just full
Yes.
circle, she's the reason I got into private practice, and she's also now a college president. Yeah, just gotta talk about it. Full circle. So this is an opportunity to share of yourself, product, services, anything you're doing. If people want to get in contact with you, people want to reach out to say, hey, people want to go to a concert with you, I guarantee y'all gonna have a good time. So if people want to connect with you, if you're willing to share, how can they get in contact or whatever products and service you want to share? This is the time to do it.
Yeah, I have a group to practice Portuguese. So everyone that knows Spanish or Portuguese or wants to go to Brazil or Portugal, whatever, we meet online once a month, and we meet in person. I host parties and everything. It's a group in Halo. Halo is a platform like Meetup. So it's Practice Portuguese in Arlington, Virginia. And yeah, I can send the link afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to enter that, and I also have Instagram. It's my name, Elise Piedra one, because I had used the first one, but I couldn't enter the account again, so I created one. People always made fun of me, like, why is one? Nobody has that name. Why is there's a one? But it's like I robbed the name from myself. But yeah, Instagram, I my Instagram is open. Yeah, it would be great to talk there too. And also like just come to the group. Making mistakes in Portuguese together is fun. And like just coming to the parties, to the in-person events, just getting the vibes, you learn the language by doing that too.
Love it. Love it. Love it. PB.
I have a TikTok account. MXMXTCHI. It's mostly just clips of Sarah Sherman, 'cause I'm a big fan.
Okay. Done and done. All right. So anything else you want to share? Anything else you need before we close this thing out? Anyone?
No, thank you. This was great. This is very special. I love when these happy coincidences happen and that we could all vibe and all. I'm very thankful for this.
Same here. Same here. I don't believe in coincidences. We were connected intentionally, and now we family for life. So y'all stuck with me. I need y'all to know that.
Yes.
Y'all stuck with, ain't nothing you can do about it. You stuck with me. Okay. So anyway, I can support you. We can support each other. I'm creating a community of just people, like great human beings doing human things in their own way to help us evolve and elevate personally, professionally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, whole nine. So these conversations to me is how we continue to develop. And if y'all noticed, y'all been rocking 5 years or so. And today on this show, y'all learn even more about each other.
Mm,
And it goes
Yes,
back to
definitely.
what you were saying, PB. Like, there's so much we don't know. And that could be on a global aspect or even the person that's sitting next to me. Whew, y'all bless me today. Y'all bless me.
Definitely.
So on this show, I also give flowers. So I'm sending my flowers to you all. Both of you are gems. You are jewels. You are special. I am connected forever. Who you are is enough. And I'm so thankful that you didn't just take enough, you decided to give it away. Your energy, your integrity, your humility, your authenticity, it's contagious. And you got me. And I appreciate you two being willing to share you with the listeners, with the audience, because you two have made an impression in my life. And I can't imagine what you do for the listeners and viewers. So to that, thank you. Thank you.
well,
Thank you.
thank you.
Cute.
Okay. So this has been another episode of Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. If this episode has been a blessing to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, give it away. Don't keep it, share it. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever it is that you choose. We gonna do what we do. That is it. That is all. Good night.